Beautiful day though. Goats are enjoying it.
That line and then fix the center one, or fix the center one first? Yeah, it's some 8s and a 4 because what we have doesn't, okay, I need to do that. There you go. All right. What we're doing is we are marking out where our foundation pads are going to need to be dug. We're not going super duper deep. This doesn't have to be exact micro click accurate because this is just where we're going to be digging and putting in the post. You know, so we're not doing concrete piers. We're just doing cinder blocks stacked up with some crushed gravel. Hope it don't fall over. So, 8 foot. Yeah.
That's all those little flaggies. So
that's our future home away from home-ish.
Our future home. At least for a few years. This will eventually be a workshop. But this is what we're building this summer to get us through the next few years. All those little flaggies there. And it was, I think we decided on 20 by 30, 20 by 28 plus an 8-foot porch.
For the actual cabin and an 8-foot, and then a 20-foot by 8-foot front porch.
Yeah. All right.
That front porch will have, you know, standard stuff and also an outdoor kitchen. Mm-hmm. So we're not heating up the whole house while we're cooking outside in the summertime.
In summertime.
So that's the plan anyways.
One very good tip is to set up some shade so you can take little breaks in the shade in the breeze. Drink your water while you're doing this. So I had this from his camping equipment. We set that up. That's been lovely.
All right, so we've got a tractor, right? We knew we had to have a tractor, and there was basically 2 main camps we go. We get a new tractor, 40, 50,000, maybe 36,000, something in that range for, you know, 25, 40 horse, little 4-wheel drive, something or another. With a cab would be nice, I'm not gonna lie to you. With the front end loader and all that good stuff. Instead, we chose Route 2, a used tractor. Now, benefits of a used tractor was cheap. This was a lot cheaper. We were able to buy this John Deere tractor with a whole bunch of implements and things like that for a lot less than we could have bought a new tractor for. The problem is, sometimes old tractors break. And this one just did. What I'm doing basically here, guys, I am loading up gravel, putting them into holes, loading them up with the tractor, everything like that, and I go to fire it up for like the 3rd run, and anybody that knows that means the battery's dead. Now, I'd noticed the last couple times I'd cranked it up this morning, it was feeling a little down in the dumps. So I bet, I was thinking, oh, well, you know, I'll keep an eye on it, but nope, turns out the battery's low. Now, considering the fact that it was running just fine without the battery, you know, running just fine beforehand, tells me it's probably not the battery, but is in fact the alternator. Which brings us to a real good benefit of older tractors like these guys here. You can work on them. You get yourself a new John Deere and you can't see nothing. Everything's electronics and all sorts of stuff. But this old boy, I can yank the battery off, yank the alternator off, get them both tested, or at least get a battery test out. You know, and like I said, I'll take the battery off just in case. It was looks like it's a 2017 installed, so you know, it's kind of getting towards the end of its life, but I'll take that out. We're making some run-ins to town anyways. I'll run by, there's a Napa Auto Parts, I believe it is, right next door to where we're probably going to get lunch. I'll get them to at least test the battery, and I don't know if they can get me an alternator or not, but I sure as heck will try. So yeah, it's part of life here on the homestead, guys. You want to save a little money, so you buy something a little bit older. You got to learn how to work on it. Fortunately, I've never worked on a tractor before. I've had old, cheap, broken down trucks for most of my life, and I know how to work on those. Now this is the ultimate.
Is that the original?
Hard to tell. It's green.
It's green. Well, it's a good sign.
Paint's flaking at about the same rate as the rest of the engine, so it's probably the original.
Nice. All right, so
this is a just simple 12-volt.
It's pretty. It looks like a flower.
It's Japanese.
Oh, well, nice.
It's a Nippon Denso, made in Japan, because it's a Yamnar diesel, which is also made in Japan.
Thanks to some good old-fashioned redneck jury rigging, Honey Bunny was able to charge up the battery, because the only time the battery's used on this thing is when it starts. So while the new alternator is coming in, we're gonna try to finish up the gravel in these foundation piers here, and just leave it idle while we're digging out the rocks. The fenced-in construction zone does double duty at dinner time, because that's about the only way the dogs can eat without the pigs trying to steal their food. So every space has multiple hats, no matter what. You boys.
Go, go!
I get this. You want to get that gate?
My water bottle.
It's gonna look like I'm not doing anything.
Oh, you're doing it. So in case kids are older, they want to sit this. This so they can read. It's easier. And you can even do that.
Now someone snuck into the construction zone. Hey, honey. Yeah. Hi. You having fun? Josiah's over here researching alternators.
Would you?
Yeah, I want.
But I got fresh food. I got fresh. Oh, flying! I flying. I don't like to fly. I poop on you.
How we get around?
We go this way. Pig's like I don't know. I flying. I flying. Pig ain't supposed to fly.
She's a heavy pig.
Bah, yummy.
You've gotten fat.
I'm good.
Yeah, no, that's good. Okay. All right.
Bye bye, piggy.
I got her.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Bye bye, piggy.
Okay. Let's stay out of the construction zone for now on, shall we?
But there was fresh foods in there. You know how hard it is for me to find fresh foods as far as the eye can see.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go, guys. Living the dream.
Yeah. All of the blocks are in.
Yeah. All the blocks are in, and since we're not actually tied to the foundations, all the house is just going to be sitting on it. And since we come from an area that tends to have hurricanes, we are going to get some sort of ties into the ground. We got hurricane ties. I had to special order them because no one around here uses hurricane ties. Go figure. But
we're just psychologically scarred from living in a hurricane area.
So what we're going to do is we're figuring out exactly where we need to put it. Got a auger, post hole digger bit on the back of the tractor. Bought it from our neighbor. If it works, if not, he says he'll, won't charge us anything if it doesn't work. So now we're just trying to figure out the right height and angle of these things. Now this, my speed square is about 7 inches. It's about 8 inches. They'll be going. They want them to be 45 degrees down from the top of the beam, roughly. So what we're doing is we're just going to be setting this on top of this handy dandy pipe, doing this for an angle, marking the flag, and going to the next one. And we've got 6 of them. We're planning on evenly spreading them out, attaching to the insides of the outside beams. So that's what we're doing now. We're hoping to get these holes dug, the anchor set in there with some concrete, and then once that's setting, then we can start building the skid foundation beam things made out of 2x8s. And then you're stabilizing without me.
So it's the middle of July and northern Maine is having a bit of a heat wave. Fairly unprecedented for this time of year. I mean, it's getting up to 80 degrees, 85 degrees, which isn't all that hot for me. However, an interesting side effect of moving up from the south is I've had to learn to keep a jacket in the truck wherever we go, because I walk into one of these stores and they've got their air conditioning on kill. And it is freezing in here. In all the stores, it is so cold. on. So what are we doing, honey bunny?
Working. Okay. So what we're doing is we are making the skids for the foundation that the rest of the house will live on.
This is the last piece of the foundation.
Yeah, and before everybody freaks out, we're not going to have them like this. Flat. We're going to have them upright. It's going to be it's going to be a triple thickness of 2x8 rough cut.
Yeah, rough cut 2x8.
Rough cut, yeah. So what we're doing now is we're getting the exact measurements because all these are within, rough cuts within a few inches of 16, and honestly, so is a lot of low stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're doing is we're getting the correct measurements here, make sure everything's jives up. Then we're going to flip it upright because that's the flat surface there. Nail them, at least a few nails to get them in place. Maybe lay them back down, nail the rest of them. We'll see how that goes. Flip it over, put the third row on there, upright. However, we'll figure that out.
And
then we're good.
And we're alternating spacing.
Yeah, we're doing tongue and groove sort of deal. So we've got. We want the joints to match up on the pillars, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got, like, on the far left, we've got 16 on the bottom row. We've got 8. Okay, we've got a row of 16, 12, 8, and then 8, 16.
I'll show them the paper.
12, yeah. So this will alternate, so they're all kind of sandwiched, all tongue and groove, and we'll have another row on here too that's like this top row here. That'll be, that's the outsides. So
this is now 2 thick, it'll be 3 thick, and it'll be sitting on some pressure treated scraps there that you cut.
Yep.
So it won't be in direct contact with the concrete.
Yeah, we'll put those on after we nail it, or we'll try to anyways. That may be oh my, that's a little heavier than we expected. Pull the forklift in here, pick it up, the tractor, and do it, and put them on there, and then reassess for the next one.
We'll see. All right, so here is our little mapping out of what we're doing here. Each one of these represents one of the foundation pillars. We have 8-foot spacing on center-ish, and then this one 4-foot spacing on center, because the entire building is 32 feet long. And so you can see we have 3 rows, the 2x8s, 2x6s, whatever they are. We're doing 3 layers thick, nailing them together. So these 2 boards here that go over these pillars will both be 16 feet. Cut an 8-foot section so that we can kind of have a little, alternating, so all the seams don't end up on the same pillar. And you just want to make sure all your seams sit on a pillar. So that's how we've mapped it out. And we're measuring each one just to make sure, because this is DIY, so these aren't exactly 8 feet, but all over it does come out to 32. And that's the last part of the foundation. Alright, and now we just nail the hell out of the thing. And the piggy snuck in.
Okay, how about you get on the board ready?
Okay, and there's count.
Well, theoretically there's 2, but this one might just have 1, but the rest of them will show up
2. Okay, now
it gets tricky.
how about we do that side, that edge, and that should lift everything up a little bit and make it a little easier.
It should. Can't hurt.
You're ready.
Yeah. You're ready.
But I think if we work from the outside in,
okay.
have a much better chance of being fruitful. One down.
2 to go.
1 down, 2 to go.
And the way the angle of the sun's going, I think we're done for the day.
Yeah, we're done for the day. But we got 1 out of 3.
And tomorrow, the guy's coming to hopefully dig us a well.
Yeah.
maybe I'll do some more work on this tomorrow. I don't know, we'll wait and see from him.
Yeah, maybe next week we'll have a video about a well. Wouldn't that be great?
At least a well casing put in.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a whole thing, yeah.
Oh gosh, it's going to be a thing. But yeah.
So we have, what are these, 2x8s you said?
Yeah, 3 of them. Sandwiched together.
2x8s, sandwiched together. And the
Hey Randy.
edges are offset. It is sitting on pressure treated little things you cut.
Yeah.
Y'all remember Fluffy? Fluffy came with us from South Carolina, and she was pregnant when she was, hey. And she is no longer pregnant. Hello. Hello, little ones. Little ones, yes. Yes. I suspected she was going to give birth last night, and I was right. And I had you all locked up in a nice private little RV with fresh hay, and you busted out. Yes, you did. You're like, no, I want to go give birth in the wild. Okay, so we have 7 very healthy piglets. She did a great job. There was an 8th that had passed when I found them, but I basically followed the pig paths until I came across her, and the dogs knew exactly where she was, and it kind of looks like, you know, there's enough space here trampled around that it looks like the dog spent the night with her while she was giving birth, just keeping her protected, which is great. That's their job. But first birth on the homestead. Hey, littles. Hey, littles, you're just a day old. You're just a day old. So, oh, careful. Since Mom seems pretty comfortable here and weather's good, I'm inclined to let them stay. They got the dogs. I'm coming a couple times a day and bringing water. I bring her meals to her. And we got some baby piggies. Yeah, babies are 3 days old today, and they should be old enough and coordinated enough to join the rest of the herd with Mama around. Mama actually busted out in order to go to breakfast this morning, so that means she's ready to get out. Yep. And we
mud wallow too.
She made a little mud wall too. You all right? There you
Made
go.
a little mud wallow for her and her babies.
Yes, she did. It's going to be warm today, so she's probably going to want to be out where she can get the mud.
Let's have a pink thing on his nose. It's cutie pie.
Hey boys, what do you think of our foundation? It's all done.
Nice.
Yeah. This is...
Pet one to pig?
Yeah, of course you can pet the piggies.
Just on the side.
Yeah, remember they don't like being petted on their back. They want to be petted on their side.
But Robin's petting on the back and
Well,
he doesn't.
that one's asleep, so. So not on their back, Robert. Remember, on their side. On their side or under their chin. They like having their noses touched. Oh, yeah, those are asleep.
Hello.
So, Honey Bunny, what do you think about the foundation?
We do a little adjusting, but it's getting there.
It is square. We squared it up.
Well, the ends are square. Some of the lines, the beam itself might be a little crooked, so we just need to do a little bit of adjusting.
So we ran into some problem with the hurricane straps.
Yeah, this was before we started digging for the well, and we found out that ledge is about 18 inches, 24 inches down. Ledge is bedrock, of course. So the hurricane anchors aren't down deep enough to really do their job excellently, but they're going to do it better.
Fortunately, we don't have hurricanes here.
Fortunately, we don't have hurricanes here. The bad news with finding out ledge is so shallow is it makes the well an interesting challenge, and we can't bury any pipes below the frost line, which is about 6 feet here. We're going to have to insulate them. So that's bad.
There'll be a whole video on the well.
Whole bit of video on the well upcoming at some point. Or you've already watched it, whatever. Anyways, the good news is, though, if bedrock is only about 18 inches to 2 feet down, when it comes time to build the big house, we can just scrape down to bedrock, drill holes, epoxy rebar in, concrete those sonotubes right under the bedrock, and those houses ain't going nowhere from that one.
Don't have to worry about heave.
No heave. Very little heave here even. We've only got maybe a foot of ground below the gravel. So it's going to be minuscule heave here. We didn't hit bedrock when we were digging, or we would have maybe reevaluated things. Don't know. It's, you know, water under the bridge or
learn as you go.
Over the dam or in the well, wherever the water is.
There's water in the well, all right.
Yeah. So I said the next step is to get all these completely squared and leveled, and I got to trim some of the boards are a little higher than others just because they're all rough cut, so anywhere that's a problem I'm going to have to trim with a Sawzall.
Minor stuff.
Minor stuff. Fiddly bits.
Yeah.
But
today is fiddly bits.
Hoping to get at least some of the floor joists on today. Yeah. So we'll see.
Yep, but we have a foundation. I mean, that's
No, we have foundation.
We have a foundation.
I've seen foundations before. They look kind of more like a professional version of this.
But, you know. All right, so after this, flooring, walls, onward ho.
Onward and upward.
Onward and upward.
Never a dull moment.
And the piggies are looking up their grove.